Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. We've also been joined by Erastus Asari-Donko, who's an environmental journalist with us here at the Multimedia Group. Good morning, Akwesi Kunedu, and good morning, Erastus.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Great. Before we get into the conversation, just listen. Listen to this.
I like that somebody raised that, what are we doing to the kingpins? Because most of those 1,400 who have been arrested are young youth who are looking for something to be able to look after themselves. And we'll prosecute them, we'll imprison them. But those who run those prisons are the ones that we must be arresting and imprisoning, not these little boys. We can look rather for the kingpins and deal with them in a major way so that we are able to get something on this whole thing.
Great. So let me start off with you, Erastus, because you've investigated illegal mining for years. Now, what we see in Amansie Central, how does it compare with other districts, Erastus?
Winston, this is not the first time I'm going to say this. I have said it time and again, just that nobody seemed to be listening. I have used Tanonof municipality as an example for months now. They are also doing similarly what is happening in Amansie Central. I have copies of business permits issued by the assembly, signed by the coordinating director. On that business permit or license, it is indicated prospecting. And that entity is using that paper to mine. And I have said it so many times. And people have tried to justify it, to say that the DCE doesn't know about it, he's not the one who signed. But he's aware of it. And they are using that as a tool to mine. And we have the police at the district level looking on. You see, this is happening in many areas. Assemblies or MMDCEs, some of them, are arrogating to themselves power they do not have. The assemblies do not have the power to issue prospecting licenses for mining. Neither do they have the power to issue license for mining. And they also do not have the power to go around issuing stickers to illegal champagne operators to go about and do their business. So if you ask me, you go to Asutifi South, Asutifi North. There is what we call Sankofa. They are doing cyanide leaching contrary to law. The airline that oversees the use of cyanide does not include small-scale miners or artisanal miners. Even with the large-scale industrialized miners, it is supervised. But go to Asutifi North, Asutifi South, and Totroso, Kenya as number 1, Kenya as number 2. Go to Amansia West. Go to Takwa. Go to the streams like Asukoko and the others that join the Tano River. And look at the number of Sankofa joints, cyanide leaching joints, that are sitting there. Brim North, using large amounts of cyanide. And if you know the effects of cyanide, and they are washing this, when it rains, it pulls all these things into streams and the environment. And people will be suffering, especially children. But the assembly looks on. I have drawn the attention of the MP for the area who sits on a committee of parliament overseeing lands and natural resources. I've drawn his attention to it. What has been done? Nothing.
Okay. Hold on for me. Let me bring in Akwesi Kunedu, because as a former deputy minister, tell us how disturbing it is to see district assemblies monetizing illegal mining.
Let me first again say a very good morning to you, and also to Erasmus for his continual fight for a clean and a sustainable environment. But my brother, now it's becoming so serious and reckless. And the future looks so bleak with the attitude and pushing of the state now towards illegal small-scale mining activities in this country. Where now you have a state that is so complicit, very complicit, in regularizing illegal activities in this country, then it becomes very scary. It becomes so scary to the extent that even for you who is trying to fight it, must be very careful as to how you go about it, because it can even endanger your well-being and your life. My brother Erasmus mentioned some district assemblies in essence of about 8 district assemblies that are now legalized an illegal activity to the extent that they are even giving permit to people to go and illegally mine. I've watched your 45-minute documentary about Amansie Central and how the district assembly itself is legalizing items like champagne. What does champagne got to do with legalization? It is purely for an illegal activity. You cannot tell me champagne is one of those machineries that are used for legal small-scale mining activities. So immediately you go in and you call it one leg, and that you are licensing it, giving it stickers, giving it receipt, making people go to bank to pay to legalize champagne. It is a state-sponsored activity at legalizing an illegality. I wouldn't be surprised tomorrow that you have the district assemblies under this current administration telling people that we have guns, they've been licensed by us, come take a token, then go use it for activities that you would want to do. This is scary. When it also talk about the Sankofa activities, the involvement of cyanide in doing Sankofa, and the amount at which they are degrading our environment, my brother, it is scary. And you know the problem? It is not going any day tomorrow under this administration. Because all the platitude of promises that they gave, they've thrown all of them away. And they are now only banging their hopes and trying to conscientize and focus Ghanaians on only 2 things, and leaving our attention from what would give us a long-term detrimental effect to our health and to the environment and to the totality of the country called Ghana.
Okay.
Now we are fixated about $1 that is dropping and the cedi strengthening, and a good inflation figure of 3.8. So when you speak now, all that we are being told is the dollar is low. And it's being financed by the activity of the sale of gold. And we've been told by the administrators of this economy that is what is going, and the high gold prices. And the government is wanting to cash in on that. It's now legalizing illegal activity of Galamsey in this country, so that production of gold can be on the ascendancy, so that they can go selling it. And you know why? You see, for the past 1 year, they've gone to the Bank of Ghana to liquidate the gold reserves that we had in exchange of physical dollars, so that they can pump into the economy, because they were not producing more again, because the places that they were having is not good. So now what do they have to do? They have to legalize illegal activity by giving them permit to go and mine illegally Galamsey, so that we can continuously be producing more, so that they can use that to finance the economy. So that is where we are now as a country. That the state can sponsor an illegal activity to this magnitude, boldly, blazingly, with no apology to anybody, because now everybody is being shattered with a dollar that is low, an inflation that is low, and that we should be fixated about that and leave the excesses that goes directly to affect and impact the lives of people, the health of people. Ask Professor Sampini, the seasoned pathologist in this country, and the number of incremental cases in terms of the degradation of our environment by hard metals that are being used to contaminate our river bodies. And if you watch your own documentary, to the extent that even when you would want to go on the riverbed to go and mine, there is an amount of money that the assembly is willing for you to pay for you to go and do that. How criminal and how irresponsible can that be as a country that we must condone at this era of our life?
Hold on 1 minute for me. Let me bring in Suleman Braimah, who is Executive Director of the Media Foundation for West Africa. And Suleman, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning, Winston. Thank you for having me.
Great. So, what does this investigation tell us about the state of accountability at our local government level?
Well, it's really quite revealing, also because I had the impression that all along government was so seriously committed to the fight against Galamsey, and the directives and instructions and the posturing would be such that no government entity would have the audacity or the courage to do the kinds of things that the investigative piece has revealed. But I think what is instructive is that this coincides with a time that I have myself in the last couple of days being in areas where mining activities are quite prevalent. And I must say that I am truly shocked, because sitting in Accra and listening to the political narratives and the debates and all of that, one sometimes gets the impression that, there's so much work that's being done. NIMOS has seized this, NIMOS has destroyed this, NIMOS has arrested that, and so on and so forth. But if you go to the ground or you get to places where these things are happening, then you can only conclude that the kinds of stories that we are told are just, maybe things on the very, very upper surface of the issues. Yesterday, for example, I drove all the way to some villages in the Ahafo North Municipal Assembly, going through the Ahafo Southwest and all of that, and Winston. The devastation you see as you drive on the road, on both sides of the road. And these are things that as you drive, you see the physical activity, you see the excavators in operation, and when you ask yourself, is this what we are being told Galamsey is being fought? Look, almost every river that you cross on that stretch, every river is gone. Then I get to the village that I was visiting, and you see the level of devastation, and one stream that serves maybe hundreds of communities, in cocoa growing areas, that stream is completely gone. I talk to people, and they say, look, on daily basis, the quantity of Galamsey items that arrive at Anyankwanda. If anybody tells you that Galamsey is being fought, the person is just perhaps playing games with you, because the chamfans, the one leg, and the kinds of the equipment that are used in the Galamsey enterprise, and the quantities that are arriving every day. And Winston, these are not coming from the bushes, so they are coming from our ports. So who do the clearing? If indeed government is committed to fighting illegal mining, why are we allowing equipment for illegal mining to continuously come in through our port? So I get really frustrated when you see real physical activities happening just maybe five or less kilometers away from the district capital, where the district authorities are, where the police officers are. Then you tell yourself, look, it's either we are joking or we are just doing politics with the issue. Look, the other thing that for me is worrying is the young people who are involved in this are themselves will be telling you, look, there's no future for this country. Because if you sit down, people will go and do it and get the money. Why don't I get involved? And they themselves will tell you, look, we are working with, under MPP, it was MPP leaders at the district level who were supporting the enterprise. Under NDC now, it is the NDC leaders from DCE to the police officers to the party executives. They are the people under it. And nobody should want to deceive Ghanaians by saying that the party people don't know about it. Good people who have good intentions in various communities. I know in Ashanti region, people who have even come all the way to complain at the regional coordinating council, complain to, whoever is said to be a regional liaison officer or whatever, who is the party executive, complain to party leaders that the river that is in our community that is serving all the stretch, maybe some 20-30 kilometers of cocoa villages and so on, the river is going, it is gone. What can you do? And they will tell you nothing happens. And at the end of the day, their conviction is that the people that they are complaining to find a solution are themselves behind it. So I don't think that really at this stage we are serious with this fight against Galamsey. The other thing that I must say is I listened to my brother a while ago. The problem is that we do politics with this. Under MPP, it was the same. Under NDC now, it is the same. So let no one pretend now as if this problem started just about a year ago when this government came into being. We must have a collective fight over this national disaster that is happening. Otherwise, NDC in opposition, they made all the promises. They are in power now. Things are getting worse. Under a previous government, all promises were made. Things continue to happen. Okay. We must either be serious or we must just leave our country to get into, the calamity that we are all driving ourselves into.
Let me bring in Erastus. Erastus, the DCE insists that the money is for environmental control. How credible is this argument, Erastus?
That the money they are collecting at their level is for
environmental control. Yeah.
You and I know that is a palpable falsehood. You go to the areas, the Amansie Central area where they are collecting this. Go and have a look at their roads. Look at the poor amenities they have. Look at the circumstance of the people there. Many of them do not even have water to drink. All the streams that they rely on have been polluted by the same champagne machines that they are allowing to go back to further pollute the water sources that they do have. No money is going anywhere to develop anywhere. Many of these monies will go into private pockets. But my point is not even with what they will use the money for. How do you justify an illegality? The champagne machine is known to be the worst polluter of water bodies. We all know. It sits on rivers at the local level. In the Amansie Central area, the Oda River has many of them polluting it with impunity. The peasant farmers who grow pepper and other vegetables for the market have all stopped. They are out of jobs because they can no longer carry borehole water for miles from the home to go and water their crops, all because these champagne machines that the assembly is now mandating to go and pollute are the ones that have polluted all the rivers. So how do you justify that illegality by saying that you are using it as an IGF to do what exactly? I have said it time and time and again, Winston, that if the President Mahama, is really serious about fighting Galamsey, he should start tasking his MMD, his appointees at the local level. Because currently as we speak, Galamsey is not a crime for the police at the local level. Many farmers have come to me. I've asked them to report to the police. Nothing was done. In the end, you find police personnel who are going from one Galamsey point to the other, collecting their carts from illegal miners. We cannot pretend to be not to be seeing all that.
Okay.
If we allow this to continue and we allow the district security council chairman, which are the DCs and MMDCs, to go on perpetrating this illegality, none wants to do nothing to solve the problem.
Okay.
It should be a crime at the local level to engage in Galamsey. And that is what we are saying.
Let me find out from you, Suleman Braimah, what should be the consequence? I mean, following this evidence, what should happen?
Well, certainly this DCE doesn't have to be in office within the next 24 hours. You cannot say that you are, allowing people to destroy the environment, and then you collect money to restore the same environment under circumstances where the destruction is illegal. There are Minerals Commission officers, and Minerals Commission is the entity that is supposed to regulate the mining sector, not district assemblies. And so certainly this is a matter that I do expect that within the next, in the course of the day, this DCE must be relieved of his position. But that will be just one district, and it doesn't solve the bigger problem. I don't know why it cannot be that if you are a DCE and there is evidence that Galamsey is happening in your district, then you are not fit to be there. Unless we are being told that we've gotten to the point where Galamsey activities are so overwhelming that our national security, our security apparatus at the district level, at the regional level, cannot deal with it. If that is what we are being told, fine. Then we realize that, well, we are at a state where our country no longer can control territorial security. But otherwise, if you are the DCE for a Sunafo North or a Sunafo South or a Sitifi North or South or whatever, and Galamsey is happening, and it doesn't take anything to know that Galamsey is happening, then that DCE must go. So the fight against Galamsey can be a KPI for all DCEs. That, look, these mining activities are happening in your area. It is illegal. And we are appointing you, and one of your very primary tasks is to ensure that this thing is stopped. The other thing for me is that, Winston, we are not saying, I don't hold the view that mining in this country should be stopped. It's just that mining should be regularized, mining should be done legally, and I'm sure that if we are serious as a country, there can be a way in which we ensure that all these young people in Galamsey get engaged to legal, regularized, environmentally friendly mining practices. I don't know what has become of this cooperative mining scheme that was to be launched, or that was being launched, and unfortunately, Amane Mutala and the others, got involved in that unfortunate incident, and we lost them. I don't know what has become of it, because we were told that, look, that would be the solution to the Galamsey. We'll make sure that Galamseyers are put together, they operate in a very environmentally secure way, and all of that. Then after that incident, I don't know what has happened. The other time we did some works in Elembele, which is where the current Lands and Natural Resources Minister comes from.
Yeah.
There's Galamsey there. So you sit in Accra, you say you are fighting Galamsey, your own constituency, Galamsey is happening. So what is happening in terms of the minister? What is happening? Regional ministers, district chief executives, district police commanders, and so on, regional police commanders. Look, the reality is that talk to everyone and they will tell you, hey, Massa, the person is wearing a uniform, but what he's looking for is the money. So when they come, what they are interested in is in the money. If they come and you give them some 100,000 cedis, how many months is he going to make that money through his salary? So they'll collect it and go away. That is the crisis that we are in. And I don't think that with what I have seen with my naked eye in the course of this week or in the course of last week, anybody can convince me that there is a serious fight against Galamsey in this country.
Okay.
Either we say we've lost it, or we are not interested or we are not committed to the fight.
Let me bring in Akwesi Kunedu finally. So, what should we do going forward to deal with this challenge? What should Parliament be doing as they come back from the weekend?
Winston, first and foremost, even if you would want to regularize these illegal activities and make sure that they mine in a sustainable manner, you cannot be doing that in the melee of this so rampant illegalities that we are having. How do you go in and regularize it at the manner in which it is occurring now? We're in this country where we were told that we needed to declare a state of emergency on illegal small-scale mining activities to put a halt on it so that we can have proper dialogue as to how to regularize that and manage it. What has happened to that? You see, in my opinion, when my brother gives commentary about some of these neutrality politicization and equalization of some of these matters, that is the challenge in which we find ourselves in now. We are in a country now that we have used state institutions to legalize an illegality. We are talking about that, and we are talking about a year and a half ago. What happened a year and a half ago? We gave the mandate to somebody now to fix it. I believe sincerely, on my own account, I was in Kunsu on the 25th of January. That is just about 2 or so weeks ago. Half of the community is gone. I went as far as Edujama, went to those enclaves. Personally, I still have the videos on my phone right now. If we talk about regularizing that and what has happened today and what that, listen, we are not going anywhere. In my candid opinion, all the individuals who have been mentioned and who are complicit in this matter ought to be let go so that it can serve as an example. You see, when the matter in the Odao constituency happened and we were talking about it, we went ahead and said, oh, the assembly went into a fee-fixing structure and even agreed to it. So now we've used the assembly as an institutional state to perfect an illegal activity to an extent that we are talking about it as an official assignment. And now look at the expanse at how it's being spread over all of these district assemblies that we do have. If we do not put a hold and a halt and a stop to the activities and find a way within it to regularize it. You see, if I talk about the assembly giving business operating permit to an institution or a body to go and do exploration. Why in this country, when the president met the Cali Bishop Conference and also met the CEOs and said that they would want to commission the geological authority so that they can be doing the mapping. This is a program that we started under administration. It's been halted because they will tell you we need finances to be doing that. We spend 50 million in doing all of these things. What has happened to that? Do you need to be licensing people who will go and be doing exploration with their limited resources and technical knowledge that they do have to go and search to find where minerals are? What is the Ghana Geological Authority doing and survey doing? They ought to be leading this. Instead of us resourcing them, we are just giving them a paltry amount in a budget that was brought. And we are licensing people at the district assembly using the revenue office so that becomes an IGF, upon which at times some of these assemblies are evaluated in terms of their forward analysis. Listen, we are not getting anywhere because you see that the state needs these resources, and by themselves and with the establishment of gold board and how they are managing gold board and the sale of gold, want to do these illegal activities legally at the expense of our environment. Okay. And I believe that if we don't put a stop to it by putting a total ban on it and regularize it, we cannot, in the midst of what is happening now, find any way, because the government and the state and the NDC government, they complicit in it.
All right. Thank you very, very much, Akwesi Kunedu, former Deputy Minister Lands and Natural Resources, for joining us this morning. Thank you also, Erastus Asare Donko, and to you, Suleman Braimah. We're grateful to all of you.
Thank you very much.
Great. So that's Akwesi Kunedu, a former Deputy Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Erastus Asare Donko, and Suleman Braimah.